guys? Yo, what up? So, ended up going to GAC, like I told you, train my boy Braylon. He's getting ready to go off to college soon in the next few months, so we're getting him right. Good session today. It's a hot one today. It's 97 degrees here in Georgia. Here at Kava right now, you know what the vibes are. And they have grilled steak apparently. This is new, so I might give that a try. We'll see. I also might just play it safe because I don't want my meal to suck. But grilled steak, hard to mess up. So I'm going to take a look at it. If it looks good, I'm going to snag it. Headed back to the house. Got my dad a card for Father's Day. Tomorrow we'll probably just do like a brunch thing or something like that for him. And I want to get that book that I keep seeing on TikTok that is, or Dad Tell Me Your Story or something like that. It's the blue one or whatever. I'm sure you guys have seen it all over the TikTok shop or whatever. But I tried to, Amazon, unfortunately, and I say unfortunately, but it's like, geez, I procrastinated. That was on me. But they obviously do free 2-day Prime shipping. But I'm like, I need it in a day. I need it today. I called Barnes & Nobles everywhere. I tried to figure out where it was at, yada, yada, yada. Nobody's got it. The Barnes & Nobles lady seemed to think she had it, and she's like, oh, there's none left in stock. So somebody snagged them, which I'm pissed about. But it is what it is. I'm going to keep looking around. If I can get it today, I will complete everything. But I got him a card already, and I want to get him that. That was going to be like my gift. I thought about snagging him some tequila or something, some like really good, like top shelf. Not that he drinks that much, but we'll take a shot. It's Father's Day. Why not? So maybe that's an option as well. We'll see. I don't know. I'll talk to Bay about that. See if she thinks that's a good idea or what I should get him. But we already talked about that I was looking for that book around. So anywho, wanted to update you guys, let you know what was going on. As you know, today's are self-development days. Last night I fell asleep to the Tony Robbins, Master the Game, or Money Master the Game. So I got to go back a little bit, but this is like, I'm right there in, I think it's chapter 5.2 when he's talking, when Ray Dalio's breaking down the, 4 stages of, because everything flows in cycles, and where your money should be and asset allocation. And so like, I'm in that area. I'm almost done with it. I have like 8 hours left or 7 hours left, which seems like that's a lot. But the book was like 24 hours. So I've really been banging it out, but I want to go back, read what I need to read, get caught up, maybe finish it, just depending on how busy or not I am. I still need to do that NQ breakdown for you guys, which I will do. And yeah, so that's kind of the latest and greatest. I just wanted to kind of keep you guys locked in. Today is not super, eventful, if you will. But you know what the weekends are for. The weekends are to change the trajectory of our entire life. And that seems maybe a bit dramatic, but if you've been watching me for the last 70 days, or whatever it is now, close, somewhere around there. If it's not over 70, it's close. And this is no time to be, and I know that seems a bit counterintuitive or a bit hypocritical. I was going to say hypocritical, because I was on vacation or whatever, but that's obviously just for, Nicole and I. But it's like, it's important to obviously, work hard, play hard. That's at least, I know that I'm getting what I need to get done. People don't necessarily see all of the things that I do to be as far as I am and have gotten this far just in life in general. And I'm not going to get like philosophical here. So I just wanted to kind of just let you know that like, I'm always grinding. I'm always thinking about the next thing. I'm always trying to. So I think I've got a great balance at almost 30 years old, now at 29, knowing how to live in the moment and doing that very graciously, while also being like, but I have goals and I have shit I need to accomplish, because this is about my kids, my future family. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the way that I save money. That's the way that I make money in the markets. Do I want to blow accounts? No, but right now I don't have any kids. And I say that while my kids 10 years from now or whatever, 5 years from now, are watching this video and are able to understand what I'm actually saying and can articulate. And, so it's, it may seem a bit silly when they're watching, like, what do you mean you don't have kids? But it's like, this is the process right now. This is what's going on in my head right now. This is why I love doing the vlog thing, even though it's effort, even though it's raw and uncut. That's what I want, because I want to be able to reflect. I want them to be able to see what the process looked like on a day-to-day. They can just go back. So when I'm gone, they can be like, wow, like, I knew exactly what you were thinking. I knew where your head was at. And I try to do my best not to hide any of that stuff, or how I'm feeling. If I just need to get something off my chest and just ramble, sometimes I got to do that too. But I love you guys. I am going to, like I said, get this food real quick, smash this. I'll show you guys the bowl, if I even get an opportunity to, because I might smash this. I'm so hungry. I haven't had anything but coffee this morning. So stay tuned, guys, for that NQ breakdown, and that will probably wrap up today's video. Not anything super exciting, but I love you guys. Say it with me if you guys know it. I'm sure I'll close it out forgetting that I did this before, but let's do it anyway. You are uniquely different. God took his time on you. You are one of one. And if nobody told you today, I love you so much. Peace.
I'll explain the methodology.
Oh, yeah. Yo, what's going on? Hey, Alexa. Pause. So let's jump right into this. Let's scoot you over a little bit so you can see. Okay. So boom. All right, let me get this creamer out of the way. So now we're going to look at NQ weekly. We've got our levels. We've got our daily levels. As you can see, we're getting higher highs, higher lows, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. Let's dive into this a little bit more. I'm really far away. Hold on. I'm still really far away. Hold on. Okay, bet. So this is what we're dealing with right now. Unless we just do something crazy and gap down here and kind of fill down in this 19,600 area, we're up here. This is what we're concerned about at this particular moment in time. So come down to the 1 hour. Let's take a peek at it. We're obviously in this range. As I said before with the YM breakdown, we're in between these ranges. And this just makes it easier for me to see everything. So I can just very clearly understand we've hit up here, you know what I'm saying, at the top on our supply. Okay, we've obviously come down and touched our demand zones, and we keep bouncing in between these levels. Now, this was Friday, 2 a.m. when the market decided to dump, and then we came down here. This is 7 a.m., and here comes 9 a.m., well, we're on the 1 hour. Let's go to the 30, just to make it clear. Here is your 8:30, and here is your 9:30 open. The two blue ones. Let me get this one out of the way. So if we're just looking at what has happened before, of course, we always look left to reference our levels. However, when you look here, we have gone above that, and we're at 19,956, almost 960. So we're looking at these two levels. Okay, where do we open at? It's 8:30 right here. Where's the bottom of our candle? Right here. We're going to put a line there because we want to see where the market opened at. Actually, I'm sorry. Yeah. Okay. So we're putting that here, and then we're seeing right off of the open. Let's go down to let's put it like a circle around this, just so I can reference it. Let's go to the 1 minute quickly. Oh, still got the drawing tool on. All right. Boom. So here's where you open, right? So here we're open. Let's find the 8:30 right there. Okay, so this is the 8:30. Right when market opens, we want to see if this holds this level. What did it do? You've got active, or I should say, in a way, when you look left, this is obviously a level. One that I've marked off as valid. It's also opening price. At the same time, you've also got active buyers and passive buyers that are stepping in, waiting for this level, and they're defending it. So they're trying to push this back up. So right here, let me take this drawing out the way. So right here, once this hits, it rejects. We get a nice double bounce here. Okay. Let me get really down in here. So you get 2 tests off this line, 1, 2, and then we start to move our way up. We're almost at 50% of this previous candle. We start to make our way up here. Then we get this nice push, 836. Again, this is futures, so you're able to trade at 830 if you choose to. I mean, you can obviously trade even before that, but that's when you start to see a little bit more volume in the market. Now let's peek over here as we start to go just sideways and kind of consolidate in this area. Now we're looking at our local highs and our local lows. So these are our local highs right up in this area. These are our local lows down here in this area. Okay, and it's also just kind of ties in with our support. So I'm not necessarily going just right here. This is not like, this is more of a range, guys. We're in an area of where I want to be at or what I'm looking for. Same thing up here, because obviously you've got a wick a little bit above, got another wick that hit this demand area, or excuse me, our supply areas, and start to kind of bounce off there, but it's not quite in the gray. So I'm not really going to count it. Don't concern yourself so much with this. Just think about, okay, if I wanted to throw a box around this, and I'm not trying to mess you guys up or whatever, but this is just how I do it, where it makes it way easier for me to look at it like this. When I look at it in this range, I'm only looking out for when we get a breakout of this area. So once we start to push towards these highs again, my antennas stand up. Right here, right here, right here. And then I'm also looking at it again right here. So now we start to approach it again for the 4th time, 5th time, push up 830, 831, we get a break. Now, we're going to wait to see if there's price acceptance above here and a retest more importantly. So let's get down here to the nitty gritty. Let's take this line off because we know now where we're at. Here's 930 open. What's it do? Boom. Bounces off of this. And then the next candle, we come down here. We go ahead and grab this liquidity zone right here at 822. And then here we go. We tap into this. Again, we're kind of back in this box, if you will. One more touch before we start to take a run. Now, if you want to go conservative and you didn't enter on that first go, right when it broke and retested, here's what you have to keep in mind. Let's put a long there for a second and look at it. If I put a long here and I put my stop loss below this box where it's consolidating, where it's touched below here, are you good or are you not good? You're good because it's here at this level. So I put this up here. I'm looking for the next zone. So it's not going to be, if I in fact believe it's going to break through this box that I put here. Let's go to the 1 hour now really quick. I know it's going to look kind of small, but I wanted to show you if I can find, oh, here we go. Sorry, guys. Right here, and obviously it doesn't look very significant because obviously we were down on the 1 and 5 minute. Now on the 1 hour, check this out. Where would my next target be if I put my box here? Up here, right? Look left. Boom. Kind of just playing tennis, like I always like to say, between these two zones. So, okay, it's going to be pushing back up into this. At least that's my take profit that I'm looking to go for. Now, that's a big, especially in a 1 to 5 minute, and we're obviously looking at the 1 hour boxes here. It just allows you to look ahead and almost have this kind of intraday but scout mentality where I can go for a longer push. I have to be able to sit in it long enough, so I got to make sure that my contract size reflects something that's not going to wig me out or get me, have me very emotional in these trades. But as long as I can keep my head on straight, this is something I can ride for quite some time. So I look left. I know already that it's come up here and hit these areas, right? So now I put this target all the way up here to the bottom of this. Now let's just look left and mark off levels. So let's pretend I don't have this box up here and I'm just looking to the left. So if it's broken through here and I know that this is once found support and resistance and is broken through, I'm looking at next levels here going, okay, support, support, resistance, resistance. Let's put a line here. I just put a solid line so you guys can kind of see. Okay, there's a zone. Boom. All right, there's one. Well, let's just look at that move. Let's say that's TP2 or 3. This is still a 1.95 to 1. That's solid, okay? So you're almost a 2 to 1. That's what you're looking for. All right, let's say we just continue to follow it up. Let's look at the next zone. So in fact, it hits through there. Beautiful. We keep getting pushes through there. Now we're looking left again. Resistance, support, support, some wicks here. It's come up here and hit this area and then rejected. Okay, some more support. So we're going to put another line right down up in here. Boom. Let's call this TP2. Take this one up here. That's 278 is our RR on that. And then we take it all the way up to the top if we're obviously kind of jumping past these consolidation areas and we're hitting our next major levels, is a 3.67, guys. So these are the things that we're looking for, obviously, and playing it more conservative if you don't get in that initial move, which was here, where I put my stop loss below the consolidation zone here, and I played it up to into my next levels looking left solely. Pure price action, pure technicals, no fundamentals involved in this. So you have to obviously decide whether it is worth it to you to jump into a particular trade or not by, observing, is there news right now? Okay, it's 9:30. Okay, at 10 does something come out? You have to know what's going on. Be aware. Is it important for you to be trading purely, fundamentals or purely technicals? Or I don't think that it is. And again, this could be my naiveness of the market at this particular juncture. This is my opinion on it. The success that I've seen, which you're like, well, withdrawals, I get all that. But remember, you're also learning yourself in this market and you're finding what makes the most sense to you. It is one very sophisticated puzzle. So for me to go, all you need is technicals, I'm not saying that but when you read, the reminiscence of a stock operator, you read the unknown wizards books, you read the market wizards book, you read the intelligent investor, you read, well, that one's Benjamin Graham. That's not necessarily getting into the technicals per se, just more about making smart investments. But what I'm getting at is you have people that really just never looked at news and were very, very successful traders. So what I'm finding over these 2 years that I've been trading is like, it is really about figuring out what your lane is, like what's your niche. And if that's your niche, then rock with it. So as I said, it's really about the importance of it's really just the importance of finding your niche and making sure that you are where you need to be. It's the equivalent of somebody trying to tell me how to run routes. It's like, I think I know a thing or two, and I can hear what somebody says, and somebody might have a methodology that works, but the proof is in the pudding. I get open, I catch footballs, I score touchdowns. I was able to achieve the level of success that I did and go play at the level I did. And again, that's not bragging. That's just me making the simple note of, that's how I truly believe and know that a true professional in the trading space is also treating this game, if you will. What's my niche? What works for me? Hey, you're doing it all wrong. Last time I checked, I've got this, this, and this. And it's not materialistic stuff at all. That's not even what we would be referencing. It can be just that you've got X amount, in the bank per se, and like you haven't spent $1 of it, but it's the peace of mind knowing like I can do whatever I want, whenever I want. Those are the things that are like making all of this special. So that's what I'm getting at so let's jump back really quickly. And I want to make sure you guys can see everything. So right here, if you wanted to be a little bit more conservative, I'm going to scoot in a little bit more on this. Oh, wow. That's very scooched in. Let's back that on up. Okay. So right here, if you wanted to be conservative and you didn't want to get in on this area right here where, okay, I saw this breakout here, this retest, and I entered. Yes, this is not, especially on NQ, this is not something that if you're in big size, can you take this hit? 24-point hit? I don't know, not everybody, you know what I'm saying? And so maybe that's not quite the next entry. So if you do want to play this more conservative, you wait for this thing to pull back into this, into this consolidation. You're going, well, wait a minute, this might come back down to the bottom of this. So I'm going to wait to get in. This thing starts to rally. It finds an area, obviously. It goes in this liquidity pool. It pumps back up, okay? Now we break out, and now I'm waiting. You see where I put this blue line? I'm waiting for the break of the neckline right here. Then is when I'm getting a confirmation that I can then, in fact, get in. It pulls back to where? Right where the initial entry of the last one, a little bit more aggressive entry as we talked about, and then starts to rip up. And then we take it zone by zone. What did it do? It went up. use prior found resistance as support. This is a great sign. Even an additional entry, scale in if you'd like to, or move your stop loss up here into profit. Boom. Okay. And then keep your stops pretty tight. I would just start trailing the bottom of this. So let me get the bottom of this quickly to somewhere up here. Now look at this. We've gone from somewhere between 25, 28, 30 points. What was this? 34 points to a 10-point stop. That's excellent. Keep moving up. We get this nice candle. We break this neckline, and now we're up. Oops. Sorry, guys. Now we're up here, and we really start ripping like this. Boom. And then we retest, and we get close to this one, and we keep going with volume. We're pushing quickly. This is the 1 minute, guys. These are 1 minute candles. These are massive. And this is at 9:46. Volume is the highest it's going to be, in the daytime. Right, market just opened 15 minutes ago. Let's go to work. Now this might be a potential another scale in if you choose to. Most importantly, minus the scale ins if you don't feel comfortable doing that, is now profit. We're in profit big time right here. Right, I entered off this first neckline, did I not? So guess what? This is now a risk-free trade. Boom. Now we go ahead and close that off entirely. Now I can do nothing but make money and start taking little things and start scaling out. And that obviously is a talent in of itself. That takes practice and a lot of back testing and forward testing on scaling out. When you start to, again, this goes back to the niche thing. I tell you, it helps me reinforce my own rules. You start to see on NQ, if you're an NQ guy or gal, you see, something wild on YM. I told you I've watched the tape a little bit more on US 30 than anything else, just because, again, when I first started trading, whether it be QBanks or anybody I was watching initially, that's what I kind of got on. So it was kind of like just rite of passage. Oh, that's there, US 30. Oh, it goes fast. I like going fast. Oh, it's got a lot of volatility. Oh, you can make a lot of money. Okay. Anybody else who comes in here and goes like, I'm going to be super patient, is kind of like lying to themselves. That's like being like, I play rec football right now and I'm 5 years old and I'm like, I'm going to take my time to get to the NFL. You want to play, high school football highest level, college football highest level, and you're thinking about the NFL. You're putting jerseys on for Halloween and you're like, I am in the NFL. You have to be a bit delusional at first. And then you're going to get beat up a little bit. And then you're going to understand like, okay, I do have to slow down because I can't sustain this. But it's the lessons and lashes you needed, because if you were going in conservative, it's only a matter of time before your mind is going to go, well, what if we went a little faster? What if we pushed a little harder? That is what gets you caught up. So you're talking about TP1, TP2, and TP3 getting hit. I wanted just to show you guys this. Obviously, we could break down multiple things, but understand, as I told you, break and retest are what I'm looking at a lot. I'm looking at trend line breaks, so I'm going to give you an example of that quickly. All right, again, mind you, we're in the 1 minute. It's a lot of information you guys are going to see, and it's going to come at you fast. I highly, highly suggest replays. I use them. I've actually been slacking and not using them as much as I should, and I used to do it all the time. I used to tell myself, like, I have a, one of these bad boys. An hourglass. It's actually, it's a 30-minute glass, I think. I think you have to do this twice in order to get the full hour. Anyway, but you have this and it's like, so use this as your little thing, or if you have a clock or put a timer on your phone and be like, spend it until the sand goes to the other side, doing replays. Like, guys, reps. You want to be good at anything, you got to put reps in it. And so it's like, it's so silly when I say it to you that like I'm even slowing down whatsoever. Nobody, I could be wrong, but nobody that I've seen has been like, yo, use the TradingView replay. And like, it's invaluable. Maybe I'm tripping, and I know that the market can show you different variables, different news things come out, different catalysts that move the market, right? So there's not one size fits all, but if you're a technical analysis, a speculator and a technical analyst, and that's what you look at predominantly, and you don't really look at the fundamentals all too much, which the fundamentals, in my opinion, is nothing but just this just big coercion, just trying to completely throw you off, because good news is bad news, bad news is bad news, bad news is good news. Oh, wait a minute, we're going to keep inflation high, so the market's going to go up 400 points. It's like, what are you taught? Wait, I thought, but they can't make the game that easy. If everybody knew, okay, we stayed at the same rate, interest rates or whatever, okay, it's time to sell, and everybody knew it was time to sell, the banks and institutions would go broke, and the retail would probably be just as powerful because there's more of us than there are of the banks. Now, granted, there's a whole lot, they just print money. So they have, just, there's no number that they have. They can literally just type in a bunch of zeros and ones, and it's like, that's how much we have in our bank account versus yours, which you work hard for your money. And that's why I'm explaining to you, it's very important you want to do this and do this correctly. Don't risk money that you can't afford to risk, but these are the kind of techniques that I'm using when I'm looking at mainly technicals, and it's working for me. You know what I'm saying? So this right here, I'm going to give you an example. Let's use this. Boom. You've got 3 touches here. 1, 2, and 3. So I'm looking for either a neckline break, which is essentially a push, right? Breakthrough, pullback, and continuation. Or we can get, it's kind of a 2-for-1 here, what I'm seeing. Let me take the tool off. I can either wait for a neckline break on the way down. So let's say we're getting this ascending trend line, and we're getting we're getting higher highs, higher lows, and then we're getting an ascending trend line break. So I'm waiting for this to come underneath this last local low. Once I get past this level here, I can enter the trade, wait for it to not only break under, we see price acceptance, it's gone under, and then retest this to be even more conservative if you, goodness gracious, it's like impossible to speak tonight, if you're trying to be a little bit more safe. So you put your stop loss just above here, right? Up to you whether you want to take that to the body or to the wick. I mean, typically you want to take it above the wick because you want to be out of prior range, right? In theory, this is just to let you know that if I do hit this level and we do go above this and we have another continuation and it's not just a trend line, ascending trend line break, and we're taking it to the downside now and potentially flipping momentum, that you should be out of this trade anyway. So it needs to make sense. It can't just like go up there, hit previous wick, but not yet close, and then dip down and do the 200 point, windfall, and then you miss the entire thing because you put your stops too tight. So make it make sense, that's all. So let's say I'm going short here, boom, put the stop loss here just above that wick, and I take it down to the zone. So I look left, what was prior resistance and or support, and I take it down there. That's a 1.5 to 1 risk to reward ratio. So that's a quick scalp right there. Did it come up? Yes, it did. Came about halfway of our stop loss. This might have freaked some people out, but there's a level here. We play it. Boom, we start to get a nice candle on the way down. Again, these are 1 minute candles. That makes me feel a whole lot better when I start to see this. The price did not go up here and go crazy wick. It hit right there. We went a little bit above that area, and then we turned over, and right when it opened, we went straight down, okay? And then we closed right up in here. And then we opened again, and then we engulfed that. So that, again, those are little indications where you're going, okay, we're underneath that zone. That makes me feel a little bit better. You look left, okay, we broke that support line. That makes me feel better. It's got to be continuous, confluence and continuous confirmation and validation that you're seeing what you're supposed to be seeing, because the market doesn't care about you at all. Doesn't care about your money, doesn't care that it's your last few dollars or you've got $1 million to blow or 100,000 to blow. So just be smart, make sure your risk to reward ratio is there and makes sense. But these are honestly, guys, right now what I've been looking at the most, continuation patterns, break and retests, and also, going to get like supply and demand as always. But it's just essentially called something different where it's like, I need to see buyer's incentive or seller's incentive and then looking for reversals, which again is something where we're starting to push up into a supply, right? We get up there and then we start to get an aggressive push back down, and we can see that level is respected. You look left, that's been prior support or resistance. It's just an indecision level. And then it's like now we're getting some speed over the next 1 minute candle, and it's pushing down very, very hard. And we get into that trade. And we don't wait on it because now we just put our stop loss above that major level. And if it shoots up above here with the kind of speed that it's moving at and goes up and makes it a higher high, or retest the level that was once resistance and makes that support and continue, you should be out anyway. Like, you should not be like, okay, we're above that. We've made new higher low. Let's just ride it. It'll turn back over. Like, don't do that. That's what I'm saying. So it's like, that's where you hear those cliche kind of go with the flow, go with the trend. It's like, it's true 100%, because that is going to be a whole lot better in most cases when you're trying to identify what's the scalp, which again, like I told you, I'm an intraday scalp trader where I can be on either side and or in a range and still make a lot of money. That's not always what it will be as I acquire more capital and as I make more money and as I, start a family and like, it will be okay. And so there's stuff behind the scenes that are happening that's like capital preservation and asset allocation. But that was nice. But no, that is sort of what's happening simultaneously. But it's like, but get the loot, right? Like, make the money and do it by acquiring the skill and being, disciplined enough. And then it's like, okay, deploy. Like, it's only going to rot, so to speak, in my bank. And because of, rates right now, and it's like, push this out where it can make me money, where I don't even have to work for it and it comes to me, right? Real estate, in the S&P, index funds, low volatility, things like that. And then disperse, in different areas where it's like a nice blanket on anything that happens. That's why I highly recommend you guys read Master the Game, Money, Master the Game by Tony Robbins, because Ray Dalio, who is managing $160 billion or something like that right now, and you have to be an institutional trader of either $5 billion or minimum have $100 million in order for him to talk to you about managing your money. Yeah, that guy, I would listen to that guy. And so there's studies that have been done. He kind of has the 4 stages, the all-weather plan, so to speak. If you guys have read that book, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Awesome read. I'm almost done with it. How to allocate your money, how to do it correctly. Like, guys, I'm not like this hoarder of like the sauce. I don't do that. To me, that doesn't make sense. Like, I'm always trying to put people on, and hopefully you guys can kind of feel where I'm coming from. As I told you, like, this is just like my daily journal, and I journal as well, you know what I'm saying? But like, this is my daily journal where I can like get it out, put it on YouTube, let my kids see it. Let me see the progress a couple years from now, 6 months from now, look back at it and let me just watch a video or two. Whatever. What was I thinking about then? How wrong was I? Was my prediction off? I'm not making big speculative, over the next 3 months. If I do that, shame on me. It's like, I really don't even, as of right now, because I don't have that knowledge to do that, nor do I feel confident to do that, and be like, in the book, Ray Dalio, who is one of the most successful, if not the most successful money managers that, just is able to just be out here in these markets and just give people crazy, ridiculous 29% returns year on year. And you're talking about 160 billion he's managing. I mean, you got to go with what the guy says. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, I'm ranting a bit, getting a bit off topic. All I'm saying is if this is what you guys want to do, it's like, it's going to take, what that tells me is 2 things. Obviously, everybody doesn't know what the hell they're doing, nor do their predictions ever end up happening besides coincidental. And he says that in the book of like, and he makes the analogy of, people dancing in the rain, and that there was a correlation to that happening, and when they would do that, that would happen. But the cyclical way of life shows that it can be a coincidence that happens, but you're able to build up enough reason to believe that, oh, in fact, because when I dance, it rains. Or you make justifications when it doesn't, the times that if you really journaled and go, well, how many times was I accurate? And it's really the same thing as the trading stuff. It's like, well, if I really took the time to dive in, well, how many times was I right about this particular? So it's like back testing and forward testing these methodologies, and how accurate are these? And then based off of that, now I can allocate capital towards that. I need to know how many times it works over the course of 100 trades, that one strategy. And then defining those rules and picking a different criteria. And then when I get that criteria that falls into that, lineup of, this is the trade right here. I got my confirmations, I got my confluence, get in it. And then when you have it so down packed that you have a system, then adding funds is just like, that's all just relative. You want to take $10 million and make money on this move that I know is a 65% winner? Or do you want to do that with $100? That's your risk appetite. And that's the capital that you have, whether you are looking to be a hedge fund manager or be your own trader or trade prop firms or trade whatever. Futures, doesn't matter. Break and retests. Ascending trend line breakouts. It's a mouthful. And then obviously supply and demand. Like, I still keep it very, very simple. I don't want to make it more complex than that, but I obviously have to be able to have my risk management on point as well, so I can stand the game. Because I see a play and but executing on it is a whole nother thing. And then staying in the trade and believing what I know during the trade. Very tough to do. Very tough to do. So taking money off the table and paying yourself is very important, because although it looks easy and you click buttons, buy or sell, and it doesn't seem strenuous on your body, whereas there's a lot of other people out there really manual labor getting after it, it's very easy to go, well, this can't be hard. And it's so stressful for your brain to do this game. You're like, I want stress, bring it to me. And so because you're choosing to do that though, there's high rewards, but you've got to be locked in. So if that's only for 1 hour, then let's go for 1 hour and just leave the rest, let the chips fall where they may, so to speak. Don't overexpose yourself, because overexposure in the battlefield, make no mistake about it. This right here, this square, these, photons, this is a battlefield. This is war, straight up. And somebody on Friday took $1,000 from me. And so it's not like to be offensive, but it's like, or like be offended by it, I should say. But it's like, I got to be better. I got to make sure what I'm seeing and what I'm getting in makes sense, because I can't get slashed around like that. Like, I'm choosing to allow somebody to beat me, not the other way around. So I have to get smarter. I can't get faked out. Like, I got to do what I need to do. So, you guys see what I'm doing, and it's like, okay, so I guess there's enough people in this market, and there's so much volatility and so much money circulated, that I think it's stupid for people to believe that if I show you what I'm doing, that's my sauce. And first off, I'm not reading the comments on YouTube, the little that I get right now, and then eventually maybe they become hundreds or thousands of comments. Who cares? I'm not looking at this going, I need to read that comment and, oh my God, they told me my technique was flawed. Again, teach me how to run routes. Okay. It could be another NFL player that teaches me a little nuance. Interesting. I know what worked for me. It got me paid. I guess in theory, if this guy was current and on a roster and he was trying to give me some game, it's like, there's validity in that. That's the same thing as, me listening to a hedge fund manager of $160 billion on how I should do asset allocation. It's a thought. So that's when you have to identify who you're going to listen to. Like your boy down the street who's like, bro, trust me, bro, Bitcoin. And I'm not saying like Bitcoin, I think is a very, very hot commodity right now. And I think it's going to be very, very important in our new digital currency world that we're going to be going into soon enough. Listen to the people, open a book. You know, if there's anything that I can say besides my breakdown of NQ, and then I'm not just like rambling. And again, I told you I always let this out and kind of like off my hip, and I shoot the hip with my thoughts because it's like I want to just talk about, you know, what I'm thinking. And if you're going to let people influence you easily, this ain't for you. If you're taking trades off of signals and not thinking two questions about it and just placing the trade because somebody told you so, take your money and go give it to a hedge fund manager. You know, again, all things created equal, that you have enough money in order to give to him that's actually substantial enough where he's like, okay, I can work with this 25K, 50K, 100K, and you save up or whatever. Because let me tell you something, there's going to be, no matter how impatient you want to be, a plan in place for a man who has studied and taken all the hits he's taken to be a hedge fund manager and seen so many markets and studied that, then you just throwing 100K, you might as well go to the casino, my boy. Like, throw it on red. And this is not financial advice. I'm telling you that, like, that is the equivalent. You're gambling it. Like, learn, try to study, backtest methodologies. How many times is it work? Over not 2 trades, over 100 trades on one niche market. This one happens to be NQ. You want to do NQ? Ride. You like technology stocks? Ride. You like US 30? I like US 30. Ride. You like, Ethereum? Ride. Who cares, bro? That's what I'm realizing, is like, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't. But you got to have a methodology, and you got to have a system. And if you ain't got a system, you ain't got nothing. You're out here telling yourself you're a trader, and you're just rolling dice. You're at the casino, but you just ain't in a casino environment. You ain't got the bright lights. So let that soak in. Take that for what it is. I'm going to close it here. You guys got to see some of the setups. You guys know about supply and demand. If you guys want to look at my other chart breakdowns, I have like one that's like 40 minutes. I don't know how long this was. I apologize if this was also like 30, 40 minutes, but thank you if you're here this far watching this. So I appreciate it. A little bit more of a rant, but I want to just get that off, off the chest. Always improve on yourself. Always put money towards learning something. Always get better. Like, number one thing you can do, invest in yourself. Like, read books, invest in yourself. And I'm saying that now, and right now I have nothing besides kind of this blanket, I have $1 million, funded account that I need to now, let's go to work. That I have to show for, but like payouts and the car that you see on my screensaver, the Huracan STO and everything else that I will have very soon are just like, they're dreams right now. But I do know how I'm going to allocate money. And I do know how I'm going to make money in these markets. And I do know that it means I need to have a system and be structured. And I can't be sloppy and wake up 9:29 and jump on at 9:30 and then hit buy or hit sell. Guys, you do get that there are professionals getting up and like going through a system every single day. You get that, right? So do that. Do that if you want to be great. And so I'm telling myself that as well. It's like, I get up. I've told you guys, I get up at 5 a.m., 4 a.m., go to the gym, get my workout in. But it's like, okay, well, take some of that time, get off your phone, because sometimes I'm on my phone. I'm guilty of it. And read some articles, learn on fundamentals a little bit, learn what makes things tick, build a system. I feel that I have a playbook, but it's like, okay, do you always execute the playbook? Do you always do what you say you're going to do? Or do you kind of freelance? I don't want to do that anymore. Say it with me if you know it. You are uniquely different. God took his time on you. You are one of one. If nobody told you today, I love you so much. Peace.